Hello everybody, welcome back to Jigsaw See Stuff, and we're back with some very blown out pictures. But what do I have here but the SkySurfer with the wings attached for the first time? Christ alive. Not that you're able to see it, right? But I promise you, they're attached. So the way it's held on is with one screw on that side. And that's it. So, now we've done that, I went to look at putting the tail on, and the tail is massively twisted. Clearly, the control rod fuck-ups and putting in the plastic for the receiver tube has twisted it slightly. So what I've decided to do is put the tail and the the two bits of tail together, make sure that they're at 90 degrees, and then I can line everything else up from there. So this has been sanded, the inside of there has been sanded. There you are. And that front bit. So we can apply some E.P.7, have it all weighted down, have it taped up, because I'm going out for the day, so it can be set there gluing. So pop that there. That does fit in nice and bobbed on as it should. Push it all the way back. Push all the way down, it does fit. So I'll slap some glue on and get it stuck together. You can't even see it. I hate to try to film on this phone. Right, I've turned the lights off and I hope you can actually see roughly what's going on, but I've glued it. It's all there, gluing. I've done my best to sort of line it up. I've tried using set squares, but the problem is because the tail tapers in, it doesn't really work. Also, I think this may have got slightly twisted. It's sort of like that kind of shape. For those who don't know, when this was first delivered, it was very, very bashed up, so I'm not really surprised. But that is glued in. I can wait for that to set. I have done the proper sort of contact adhesive thing of putting it together a bit, taking it apart, putting it back together again. That should now allow it to set, and then we'll be able to stick it to the tail, and we can try and twist the tail back to a shape that looks roughly right. But I don't think it's going to be 100%, so it will require some trimming. But never mind, we have the facilities. So yeah, I'm going to leave, but this can set overnight and come back to another day. Right, a few days later, and the glue has set on our sort of tail and fin combo. I've been around the edges with the tweezers and just pulled out any extra glue that's spurted out of the sides, sort of rubbed off any bit that may have gone on the flat surfaces, so it's ready to glue on. I have put this into the tail of the plane and it was slightly off. I twisted the fuselage and it lines up perfectly. So clearly the fuselage, again with the control rods being glued in twice, and the tube for the receiver, clearly a little bit of a problem. But yeah, we'll have a go at gluing that in. For some reason I'm having issues with this app again, so Christ knows what's going on. So yeah, the app seems to be freaking out a little bit. But yeah, we'll put some glue in the slot, we'll stick this in, get it taped down, and then it's another thing that I can leave to dry overnight. So let's get that done and we'll carry on from there. Okie dokie. So I've had an absolute bloody nightmare trying to get this glued in. So I've used pins, and in the end I actually used some super glue. You can sort of see the greeniness and mess at the back. Just trying to hold the tail down because I couldn't get the back of it to stay stuck down. And obviously the problem is if the back lifts up, it's going to act like it's got an elevator in it all the time. Which, if anything, I almost prefer if it was the other way around, because the last thing you want is stalling. But anyway, see, I'm using super glue just to keep the back down, but all the strength is going to come from the E.P.7. Going to have to order some more E.P.7. And the super glue like ran all over both hands and burnt. So the tail isn't quite 100% level. It's near enough, so I think it'll be fine. But it's 100% level because I had to like drop the plane to like, it's just like that natural reaction when something's quite so hot. I mean, look, you can see. Yeah. And then E.P.7 glue on top, which is a nightmare to get rid of. But yeah, that's that glued. So again, we'll just leave that to set. I've got the front sort of held in with tape. So yeah, another one that we can sort of leave gluing. Once that's done, I'm sort of building this completely out of order. And then maybe we'll try and get the wings done and finished, and we can tick them off as done. So see you in another night. Okie dokie, so I've fixed the audio issue. If the last clip sounded weird, I apologise. It was trying to use my AirPods that don't exist, so I think was just using one speaker in this. If I was only coming out of your left, maybe, headphone, apologies about that, it's now been fixed. So as you can see, we have our horn installed. I've made sure that the holes are in line with the hinge, and I've made sure that it is 90 degrees to the hinge line. I'm just going to let them sit over here in glue. And while I've been doing them, I've made another decision. I was debating on using hot glue to hold in things like the camera into its special adapter mount. There's the adapter mount we built. As well as holding the servos into the wings. So the servos in the fuselage are screwed into wood in the foam. Again, that wood is glued in with super glue, so slightly worried they might break out. But anyway, I could try putting the servos in. I always usually put servos in with masking tape. We've got some really good proper 3M masking tape, that blue stuff. Wrap the servo in that and super glue it in. That's what I do for most models, but as we know, this model is a nightmare for glue. So I think I am still going to use masking tape, but I am going to use E.P.7 to put the servos in. And I'm also decided I'm going to do the same thing for holding the camera into our little mount here. There was talk again, as I say, about using hot glue. I've never liked hot glue, and there is always that worry that if it gets slightly too warm, it gets a bit loose and bleh. As far as I know, E6000 shouldn't have that problem once it's rock hard and set. So yeah, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a little bit of E6000 on these tongs, sort of left, right, and up and down. Obviously there's a bit of a slot in that one for the cable. I might not put any glue on that so we don't get it all stuck in the cable and end up ripping the cable apart trying to get it out. But I'll do that for that. I'm also going to look again at some masking tape on these servos and making sure that the arms are lined up 90 degrees. And then we can have a look at getting them glued in as well. I'm doing a lot of gluing because the idea is that I have a very short amount of time. I mean, it's what time is it? 11:30 now? Yeah, bang on 11:30. That was a good guess. Bang on 11:30 at night. So if I could just get a load of stuff gluing so it can set for the next few days when I'm not here or don't have time to do anything, can just sit here and set. That'll be really good. I might also get the tail, the fuselage of the plane up so we can do the control horns on the tail as well, again, so that they can glue. And then we've made a hell of a lot of progress with that, really. And we're almost about ready for actually connecting the control rods up and getting stuff actually moving on this thing. So yeah, we'll get this E6000 used up probably. Let me get the camera in and gluing, and then we will look at doing servos. So bear with me a moment. Okay, so I have put glue on 3 sides, not the side of the cable. I've had to sort of whack it around a bit on the back with a bit of scrap ply, but that should hopefully hold the camera in, and obviously we'll see what that is like once it has set. But again, I've been very impressed with the way that I can just sort of peel E6000 off of places where it shouldn't be, but it's set rock hard in places where it should be. So that is that done. We'll put that on something somewhere so it doesn't stick to the actual desk. There we are, keep all the wires sort of free of any glue. Excellent, so we're now on to the servos. So it's going to be another set of our much hated MG90s. So I believe these have all been tested at least once, because that's how I threw out over half of them, which is a massive waste of money. And because I sort of bought them in bulk so that I could have them in stock, there was no way that I could return them. So let's just make a bit of a, managing to do it completely off camera, and also on a bit of paper covered in glue, which is probably not ideal. Anyway, make a little pile of bits and bobs for our servos. We've got our Synergy servo shaker, which I don't 100% trust, but at least goes near. Put it to neutral. We're going to need, so this one would be for the right wing, for example. How does that look for lining up straight up? It doesn't. That's good. Oh, I've put them in the wrong way around, so it won't be in the middle anyway. That's good. Always make sure you actually put it in the right way. Let me spin this fucking camera around. I'm not actually pointing you at it half the time. Right, that's more like it. So, it'd be like that in the wing. That looks more or less straight up. Pop the screw in. This plane, I will say, bonus points, it does have an actual bit of moulding in the foam, so you can get the screwdriver in when it is glued in. So, big points for that. It's going to be really important when we use E.P.7 to glue these in, is making sure that we don't overdo it, basically. So we're also going to need one that's like that orientation. Plug that in. Put that on. Does that look about 90? Not brilliant, but it's close enough. We are going to be running these on separate channels, so I can sub-trim a little bit if needed. This app is going mad again. Not being very happy. Right, so if I go to manual and just fast as I can do it. Right, they're both working as I should. So they're ready to go. We'll get the old 3M tape. 3M Scotch 3434 if you're playing along at home. Let's get a wing over and have a look at it. Immediate washout probably. This one is the one we're going to want first. So how does it actually fit in the slot? It is too long this direction. It's too long that way. If I score it with a knife, let's see how far out we are. So you can see that's how much we've got to remove. Not a problem. Just be careful you don't go all the way through the wing like I do. Careful, got to remember that the controller ones are gluing. So, oh, perfection, like a glove. So, right, because it is such like a glove, me, I'm going to have to make sure I don't go too mad with the tape. You know, I try and go around the want. I'm going to have the sort of overlap on top of the servo because obviously that's just exposed, so we can have as much room as we want on that. Snippy snippy. There we are, that's our blue jacketed servo. Just cutting the corner posts, just the corners. Try not to cut the wire. I'm going to do it like 4 times doing this. Fold it over. Just have one last double check. It's going to be fine to fit in here. There it is. Bishy bashy boshy. We are going to have to sort out, by the looks of it, some sort of cable extension. But that is a problem for another day. Let's just get this glued. So, again, I want to be fairly sparing with E.P.7 because it is going to spread out, especially because it's such a tight fit. So, what I'm going to do is just put in a little splob in the middle. That's a technical term, that. Put a little tiny bit on the edges. It doesn't need to be a lot. I'm putting it near the top because it'll get pushed down as and when. So we can now just push it in, push it in. I can't really use tape to hold it in because the tape will just fetch it all off. Wipe off any little excess that we've got. There doesn't seem to be any excess running into the horn hole. The horn hole! So that should be alright. Yeah, and I might put like a bit of white Gorilla Tape or something over there. So that's going to be one of them. I'm just going to make sure that that is again still lined up straight. I'm going to do the same to the other wing. And then we'll look if I can be asked to do the tail on the fuselage. So bear me a moment. Okay, so that's the other one glued in. Didn't seem to fit down as well as the other one. And there has been some sploopage. You can sort of see the shininess there. But again, E.P.7 seems very good at being able to tear bits that are not required out of the way. I have realised, literally as I spoke those words, of a small fuck up with both of these servos. And the fact that I did no sanding of the foam. So there will probably be mould release on there. Which is a royal fuck up. You can forget it on some models and it's fine. But the way that this one has been, this could be catastrophic. So once I've made sure that it is dried, I will be doing some fairly heavy yanking on these servos to see if I can force them to come out. If I can force them to come out, again, E6000 comes off of places where it shouldn't be quite easy. Hopefully the mould release side of that will help us get the glue off. I can actually sand it up properly. We'll redo it. I'll probably do it off camera. But I've decided that's going to be it for tonight. I'm going to end the video here because I think we'll have about 20 odd minutes of clips and stuff ready to go. So I'll edit that at some point. I've got two problems. I've got the app being funny. The fact that, that this new camera I'm having to use because of the lights. I really need to replace the lights. Maybe go back to the standard camera app in iOS. And also another nightmare that I have is actually getting the footage off the iPhone onto my MacBook to edit. Yeah. It does seem as if AirDrop works for like a year with devices then gives up. So we're definitely at the give up stage. And I don't particularly, because I managed to break this phone, so I broke it twice, and then a month after the second repair, after I broke it, it died again of its own accord. So I've essentially had 3 brand new, excluding when I first bought it, I've had 3 brand new phones, the batteries at 100%, things like that. So I didn't particularly want to spend the money on a new iPhone so that I could get a USB-C connector on it and some decent speeds out of it. But I might have to, although I do feel like, because every iPhone camera seems to get worse and worse with flickery lights, and I need to sort out these fucking horrible things we've got on the roof. We replaced fluorescent tubes with these things and they seem even worse. But trying to actually, because every LED strip needs to be sold as anti-flicker, because why would you want one that does flicker? So actually finding one that will and is the sort of flat tube style. If you know anything, feel free to leave it below. But I actually, if you're going to recommend it and you've got them yourselves, ideally, especially if you've got a fairly modern iPhone, try doing a recording at 4K 60, or as close as you can get, at least 60, and see if it's flickery. And if it isn't, great, let me know about it. But anyway, that's going to be it. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Any feedback, whatever in the comments is always greatly appreciated, as long as it's half sensible. And yeah, we're getting through this. I mean, compared to where we were, we've certainly made a hell of a lot of progress in this last sort of couple of weeks of my time. 2 weeks of videos as well, I guess. So what'll be next? It'll be control horns and getting the control rods connected to the control horns on the elevator. Once that is done, we could do the control rods on these as well, because they may need upgrading from what's there because they're a bit spindly. We'll see. After that, we've basically got to put the receiver into the tail fin, do all the sort of melting and sanding to get the hole ready for that, have that fitted, and then after that it's getting this sorted out with actual camera on it, tape in a couple of places, prop on, get it programmed in the radio. Still quite a lot to do, to be honest, but again, hell of a lot further forward than we were. Anyway, thanks again for watching. See you in the next one. Bye bye.